What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark, MagMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I'm taking a second look at the first Omen. That's a second at the first. Click like and subscribe because I'm weird with things second and first things and I numbers. Click for numbers. Anyway, and they need to go up and I first and second and thirds and we're all over the place here today. So I originally saw the first Omen without audio description because Hulu be Hulu. Uh, and uh, and Hulu be Hulu like forever. I think I tried it again in December and it still didn't have audio description. I was like, how the does this movie, a 20th Century Fox title that's owned by Disney, not have audio description on their own streaming service? This is baffling. Anyway, but it still doesn't. It's mind blowing. I eventually got audio description for this thing because it is a first time feature. This has popped up actually a couple places for first time feature. I've seen a couple people who have included this in their top horror movies of the year list. First time I watched it, it came out so close to immaculate that I felt like I just saw two movies that were like the same thing. And now that I've seen First Omen with audio description, because I'd already seen Immaculate with audio description, I think the First Omen is the better movie, but I don't think it's necessarily as revolutionary as some people have said it is. Like, it's, I guess, when you're talking about making another Omen movie or a prequel that goes way back before the original Omen, that they're not trying to like restart the franchise. This is like, this isn't a requel or anything like that. This is a prequel to a movie that is older than I am. So, by a lot. And as such, they're afforded different types of technology that's changed. They can do different kind of visual effects. I will say that I like the score. And I remember liking that the first time around. I think the music here caught my eye or ear the first time around. But the second time around, I was like, man, the score is still kicking. The performances are okay. They do kind of pick a guy who is supposed to be sort of like ambiguous, like, is he good? Is he going to help our lead or is he going to hurt our lead? And they give him the kind of voice he's the kind of voice of an actor where pretty much that typecast is always like villain. Yeah, sounds like this. It's like, yes, I will help you. Let me get my fourth pack of cigarettes for the day. Yeah, the guy has like just intense amounts of vocal shred to his voice. And fucked up my own voice. Anyway, doing his voice. So yeah, I didn't really I didn't think the surprises that came with some of this stuff. I liked what's her name? Luz. She gains a roommate. I thought she was cool, and that they didn't do enough with her. I would have loved to see more of her. There are some people here that are referred to as like little girls or younger girls or whatever, and they sound like they're like the same age as the lead. I don't know how young they are, but they sound kind of that young. The lead just must be really young. I guess, I don't know, but they sound like the same age. There were conversations that she was having where the audio description was like letting me know that she was like the older person in the conversation, but yet she's talking to somebody who sounds the same age as her. Very weird. So there's some really good grimy audio description. I loved the tongue. She gets licked by a tongue at one point. She has a lot of nightmares, so this isn't like really a spoiler. She has like a lot of like random nightmares, and this her whole thing is that she used to have visions and she didn't know if they were real, and she felt like the cardinal helped her, and that's why she's followed him out to this place. Obviously, there's more story to that, but she gets licked by like an impossibly long tongue at one point, and I thought the audio description for that was really good. There's a couple of little moments in terms of audio description that are, with things like clawed fingers, just a little attention to detail throughout the whole thing. It's really well done audio description. I'm glad I got to hear it. Fucking Hulu. Just everything from like the painting. I don't know if it's painting is the right word, but there's the thing in the wall when she's trying to put the key in, and like it shows sort of like there's like two sides of a face and one is different, and that's how she figures out where the key is. So there's like so many things in here that I was like missing the first time around that were visual cues where I was like, oh man, that's cool. Oh shit, that's cool too. Oh my god, that's pretty cool. And like the opening sequence, sort of with the which is sort of, I don't know if it's a callback to something that hasn't happened yet. I don't know what to think. But it kind of is something that's happened in an Omen film, but yet this is a prequel, so I don't know how to take that. Uh, but anyway, but that was well described. Um, and yeah, there were plenty of times in this where I thought the description really came in clutch, and I liked how they were describing things. Um, the choices of the words, it's all about the right adjective, because there's a way that you can describe something that makes it seem more intense than it is or grosser than it is. And I think this film really leaned in. The audio description really leans in on that. So if you can watch it with audio description, you should. Just don't trust Hulu to give you the audio description. Of course, by the time I actually put this review out, they'll be like, oh, wait a minute. You mean like 7 months, 8 months ago, we had the first Omen and we didn't put audio script? We should get around to that. Huh. It's just whatever. Anyway. Um, but yeah. So, first Omen, I have a better understanding of it. And I had a floating grade for it, and I floated it up a little bit. I still don't have this quite as high for it to be like on a top 10 or whatever horror films. I think there were better horror films this year. But as far as exceeding my expectations, um, yeah, I mean, this could have gone horribly awry. And it's a debut. Like this is a directorial debut. So kudos to that. I'm happy with that. I mean, God, to be saddled with that as a directorial debut, like, hey, we want to do a prequel to The Omen, and we're gonna let you direct it. And I would be so, I'd turn it down. I'd be like, I can't. I've wanted to direct. I want to direct a movie with a budget, and that sounds really cool. But man, I could go really wrong. Like that, like you have to have full faith in yourself as a director to jump into that, because it feels like it's stacked against you, in many ways. It feels like people are like, a prequel to The Omen? What? That's gonna be like Pet Cemetery Bloodlines. That's gonna be like Apartment 7A. You see what I'm saying? Like, it just not not great. So, but yeah, subverted expectations, and I think it's better than the two films I just listed. So, good performances. There was something that would have done differently, but I thought the audio description track was fantastic. So, and it's got a pretty good score. It's not gonna be like, I don't think this would be in my top 10. Might be an honorable mention in terms of scores, but yeah, check it out. First Omen. I'm gonna give it a B minus officially. No longer is it a floating grade. I've deleted the other review. It didn't have that many views anyway. So this is the only review that exists now on my channel of the first Omen. Is one that I actually have a firm grade on and can comment on the audio description track, because I'm a blind film critic and that shit's important to me. So will I ever get on Rotten Tomatoes? I have no idea. But anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.